For that, let's switch now to the latest in Afghanistan. Today, the Taliban's new foreign minister holding a news conference saying the Taliban will not allow militants to use their land to plan attacks on foreign countries like they've done in the past. But when pressed about whether this new Taliban would allow women or religious and ethnic minorities in government, he would not give a definitive answer. Now, across the globe, governments are saying they will not recognize the Taliban as official rulers until they become more inclusive. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., one of the 13 service members killed in Afghanistan last month was laid to rest in his hometown. People in Logansport, Indiana, lined the streets to honor Marine Corporal Humberto Sanchez. And as the U.S. anticipates about 50,000 Afghan refugees will be entering the country, we're learning about new measles cases popping up, 5 in Virginia, 1 is in Wisconsin. So now those refugee flights are paused. All this as Secretary of State Antony Blinken faced day 2 of tough words from the Senate Foreign Relations Committee regarding how the U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan. And NewsNation's Raquel Martin joining us live in the nation's capital with the very latest. So, Raquel, today we learned about some new intelligence that al-Qaida could threaten our nation within 1 or 2 years.
That's right. That's what the Defense Intelligence Agency is reporting. And this is exactly what Republicans said they were concerned about when it came to the Biden administration's withdrawal from Afghanistan. Today, they did not pull any punches as they questioned Secretary of State Blinken. However, he, of course, defended the administration's strategy and pushed back against criticism.
There is not enough lipstick in the world to put on this pig to make it look any different.
Tuesday, both Republican and Democrat senators told Secretary of State Antony Blinken the Biden administration did not do enough to ensure a smooth exit from Afghanistan.
Clearly and fatally flawed.
Democratic Senator Bob Menendez says the administration should have worked faster to get Americans and eligible Afghans out of harm's way.
The American public deserves answers, and the Afghan people certainly deserve answers.
Ohio Republican Senator Rob Portman says the chaotic withdrawal hurt America's standing in the world.
If you're talking honestly to our adversaries, they will certainly say it's a sign of weakness.
Portman says he's now concerned Afghanistan will again become a safe haven for terrorists.
We're going to make sure that we have in place the ability to detect any reemergence of that threat and to be able to do something about it if it does reemerge.
Is the Haqqani network considered a terrorist group?
It is.
Is it true that the Interior Minister is a leader of the Haqqani network?
That is accurate.
In the end, Secretary Blinken says President Biden did the best with the cards he was dealt.
He inherited an agreement that his predecessor had reached with the Taliban.
Democratic Senator Chris Murphy agrees.
I think the expectations that Republicans have created that we could have conducted this evacuation without confusion is unrealistic.
Today, we learned that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was also invited to testify but declined. The chairman of the committee says if he continues to not comply, he could be subpoenaed. Nicole.